Good morning, everybody. It's a frosty morning at Sunland Cemetery. I had planned to do something else this morning, but I slept in, so I thought I'd do something on my way to Little's. And Greg, sorry, I've just put my gloves on. It is absolutely freezing. It's one of the worst frosts I've ever seen in Sunderland since I've lived here. Look at that idiot ice kit. There's the paths over there, rather slippy. So I thought I'd come here and do a little video. I haven't planned anything. I can't remember where most of the stories I've written about are, so I'm just going to go for a wander and see if we come across anything interesting. But it's probably the most iconic entrance to any Sunland cemetery. This is the bit where all the blossoms grow during I think it's about April they start coming out. Let's have a look over here. That got the urn on the top. I don't know about the history of this particular person, but in memory of George Lamb, died April 21st, 1859, aged 64 years. So I can't remember whether the cemetery was 1855, 56 to 57. Either way, one of the first couple of years, 2 or 3 years of the cemetery. Come unto me, all ye that labour and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. That's from Matthew in the Bible. And also Caroline, who died, look at that, I've never noticed that before, and I walk past here all the time. Widow of the above, who died July the 7th, 1904, in her 96th year, so a very good age. But she could tell you a lot of things about life in the 1800s. This is a fine monument. I know a little bit about this one. This is in memory of John Wooler, master mariner, who died on the Black Sea, September the 6th, 1865, aged 50 years. Weep not, dear wife, tears are vain. Your husband you shall see again. He's gone but one short step before to welcome you on Zion's shore. And look at that. Also John George, son of the above, who died on the Black Sea, December the 17th, 1864, aged 17 years. So the son of the same name. A bit of a coincidence, isn't it? 2 years, 1 year after the other. He was only 17 years. I left my home in perfect health. I little thought of death so nigh, but God thought fit to call me hence, and with his will I must comply. So his wife was Elizabeth Ann. I believe she was from Newcastle. The family did live on Burley Street in the heart of the East End. Sorry, I do apologise. Elizabeth Ann was the daughter, who was only 7 years old. But Isabella Wooler, widow of the above, who died December the 29th, 1899, aged 80, I think 35 years, thy will be done. So for that, December the 29th, she only had to live another 3 more days and she would have made the 20th century. But quite common, sadly. I've always mentioned these videos, master mariners who died on the Black Sea. So I don't know if that was actually on the sea or in somewhere, and say like a port or somewhere around there, because it was a common route from the northeast and the UK across to the Black Sea area. But what a life, for the poor wives and family members, knowing your husband or your child, well, was somewhere around the world and you wouldn't find out for weeks or months, even if they were still alive. Careful on the slip over. There's some nice old ones here. Must be from the very early start of the cemetery. So the Rogers family. Look how thick that is. And that was built by, created by G. Roster. I've seen another one of his. I think he was a builder from down sort of Hendon way, who did a lot of these. Masons were builders as well. That in memory of Margaret, a very wife of Stephen Very, a master mariner who died February the 22nd, 1859, aged 49 years. And look at that one. In memory of John McEwen, son of John, and I think that's Muriel or Muriel Marina McEwen. Now there's a tongue twister, say that fast. Muriel Maria McEwen, who departed this life August the 23rd, 1858. She was only 16 months old. And there's the father, John. He died, I think that's 1864. Oh, that's the name. Muriel, Mirrel, a name I've not come across before. Maria Wayman. She was 6 years, so that must be another. And there's the wife of John is Muriel Maria McEwen. Also Francis McEwen, master mariner. See, I've looked at only 3 or 4 headstones. I think every single one of them is a master mariner. In memory of Margaret Robinson, wife of John Robinson, who died February the 18th, 1861, aged 38 years. The Lord gave, and the Lord hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. That in memory of James Brett of Witt, well, on the Isle of Wight. He was 48. Why do we mourn departing friends, or shake at death's alarms? 'Tis but the voice that Jesus sends to call me to his arms. Also of Jane Clowes, widow of the late David Clowes. Oh, that's one there. In memory of Parker Crosby, father of John Crosby, don't normally see it with a double S, Esquire, who died 17th of May 1860, aged 85 years, and interred at Barnard Castle. Now, funny enough, Barnard Castle is my hometown. Obviously I lived in Sunderland for 30 years, but I did a video in Barnard Castle Cemetery a few months back. Can't remember seeing that one. I'll have a look out for that one. But it's amazing how many well-to-do Sunderland people actually died over Teesdale. I don't know if they went to sort of recuperate or just have breaks, have holiday homes over there. But obviously the Crosby family, John Crosby, Esquire, Mayor of Sunderland. That must be one of the mid 1800s mayors. So I think they only became a borough of Sunderland in the 1830s, possibly. I can't remember. Engledout's a good name. Look at the intricate carving on that. Sorry if the camera's a bit wobbly, my hands are absolutely freezing. I've got my gloves on. That's a nice epitaph. The flower that bloomed is now cut down. I think that's for members of the Mearns family. There is a couple of Mearns buried at the Guild Cemetery. I don't know if that's any relation. It's not a common name. Or is it Marnes? It might even be Marnes. There's just hundreds of these headstones. There's another Crosby, but with one S. James Crosby. Sacred to the memory of James Crosby, his son Thomas, and the greater part of his ship's company who were lost at sea on board the Lapwing. I think that's is that 18th September 1818. So I think I looked for that one, but there wasn't much about the Lapwing. I don't think it was a great big ship or anything like that. This is quite a rare headstone. I think is this. I can't remember. This steel. I'm not sure if that's metal, like an iron. It looks like an iron headstone. Possibly. I can't tell. It doesn't look like. I don't know. Sadly, this one has toppled over. A done quite a few stories lately and on Facebook, and the amount of drownings was just ridiculous back in the day. These one here, look. John Ditchburn, who was accidentally drowned in the Hendon Dock, January the 1st, 1883. What a good start the year for his particular family. He was 65 years old, so he wasn't a young man. But lots of accidents down the docks and on the river. God, hands are absolutely killing. There's a good old Sunderland name. Puncheon. Absolutely tons of puncheon in Sunderland. A few of these, the metal railings have survived from the vaults. Look at that. I don't think I've ever noticed that before. Every time I come and notice something different. That's quite ornate. That one's a bit more basic, but what you could do is you could buy not just a grave, but you could buy have a space like your own burial ground within a cemetery to put like your family in. So it's quite a large one, that one. That's for members of the Swainston family. There's members of the Manning family, another master mariner. Also mentions a few grandchildren who are interred at Bishop Wearmouth Cemetery. See, even there, this is way down in Grangetown, Sunland Cemetery. There's Robert Wearmouth of Bishop Wearmouth. I don't think anybody putting a headstone now would, specify that they were from like Monk Wearmouth or Bishop Wearmouth or Sunderland. Let's just run over here and have a look over here. Life's labour done as sinks the clay or something like that. I can't bend down for that. See there? And was interred in Sunderland Churchyard. Sunderland Churchyard would be the Sunderland Parish Church down the East End. Before this cemetery was opened in Monk Wearmouth and Millionaires, most people would have been buried in the churchyards. There was a couple of other, like the Jewish cemetery and Quaker one on the Coronel Street and Burr Road, but that's a nice one. Look at all this. Just to give an example, not too sure what that symbolism means, but this is William Corner Erskine. Erskine's a good Scottish name, master mariner, and this one actually tells us who died of yellow fever at Santos, Brazil, May the 10th, 1874, aged 35 years. I left my home in perfect health. I little thought of death so nigh, but God thought fit to call me hence, and with his will I must comply. Weep not, dear wife, tears are vain, your husband you shall see again. He's gone but one short step before to welcome you and say, that's the second one of that. It's quite a common one. And then his wife, who died 1880, aged, I'm probably told she said it was just too cold to carry everything around. In the midst of life we are in death. And then at the bottom, if you look right down, also 2 children of the above who died in infancy. So poor William is buried over in Santos in Brazil. I think that's where Pelé played, didn't he? But South America and Central America with a graveyard of European sailors in terms of yellow fever. I think it was, he got it from some sort of like mosquito type thing. But sometimes the ships would lose a good proportion of the crews and they'd struggle to get a crew to come back to the UK. Nice over there. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. It's a nice shot there. The sun's rising in the distance overseeing. Oh, what's this one? Thomas Hall has got members of his family on. Look at that. Father and mother of John Hall, ship owner of Elwan Terrace, Bishop Weymouth. Now, that's just off, if I got the right one, that's just off New Durham Road. I used to live next to it in Shakespeare Terrace. So it just shows you, like, people did sometimes put just the name of the street, which I don't think anybody would do a day. See, this is here's an example of what I mentioned before about this little burial ground here. So you mentioned at the bottom the burial ground of Matthewarrington. He was a ship owner. Ship owner sounds grand, doesn't it? Somebody owns like a fleet of ships or just one big ship, but often it was just meant you might have a share in a ship with a few other people. Just seen a surname. I've never seen this headstone before. Probably walked past it, but I've never noticed. It's a surname I've never seen before. I've never seen a surname. Dal-a-well. And again, in memoriam of Thomas Thompson, Master Mariner, drowned at sea, March 1858, aged 30 years. There's one. His wife Margaret died 1870, I think, aged 40 years, R.I.P. It's printing of all the Sunland Cemeteries. I think I've just, unless it's just me spotting them here, this one tends to have the most mariners. I know there's a few at Weymouth, even in Bishop Weymouth you get some, but they're just everywhere here. About 1 minute left on this video before I go and warm up. I'll leave you with this one here. An affectionate remembrance of Mary Foster, who died September 2nd, 1856, aged 3.5 years. Also 2 infant children. So they must have been very young because they don't get a name. Or they just couldn't afford to pay for the inscription. Suffer little children to come unto me and forbid them not, for of such is the kingdom of heaven. So thank you very much for watching the video. If you do like it, please give it a like, and if you click on the subscribe, it'll help grow the channel. So I'm off now. I'm going to try and, I can't even switch the hand to sort of corner. I'm trying to switch the camera off.